Hi, I'm Karolin. I'm from Cleantech for Baltics, and today we're talking about supply chains and circular economy. Why is that we've come up to the subject is about the project that we're doing with Circulose, and we'll get into the project a bit too later. So, today's session is we'll introduce a bit of the subject, talk about it, then we will go into the Fat Cat Leaves case, and then there will be a short workshop moment in the end. So, less than 8% of the global economy is circular today, and it tends to be that the share is declining, not growing. So at the moment, we can see that the bottleneck seems to be the technology, not the supply chains. So as a moderator today, I am walking you through what we have noticed and read about that. And also what are the conclusions at the moment. So the transition to a circular economy is understood to be constrained by the complexity of supply chains and fragmented markets. It's not because of the shortage of technology or that the entrepreneurs aren't that ambitious. It is because it's documented that on the research of circular economy, there are other factors. Building a functioning circular system requires transforming supply chains, logistics, business models, and all that at the same time. So you can maybe, in your own work, think, is there or has there been a moment where the supply chain or the management of it has been a constraint and not the technology that you are using? We can see that building a circular system is not only a technology challenge. It requires building the entire ecosystem around the technology. These 5 things all have to exist at the same time and be logical. So, the manufacturing capacity. There are cases where there is no factory that is capable of producing at scale. There are supply chains where partners are missing, materials are scarce, and actors who don't exist or do exist often have conflicting interests. There's a lot of regulatory approval problems because our regulatory regulations have been built for linear products, and circular materials often don't fit in that. There are infrastructures that may not exist yet, and also market adoption, because virgin materials are cheap. The consumers may not accept pricier products, and there are plenty of other reasons to resist change. And any of this may be the reason why the venture is stopped. And often it is that the company will face any of those, not only one of them, but more than one at the same time. So usually when we talk about startups or ventures, we talk about what the stage TRL, their technology is. But at the same time, we can also see that there is another word, which is supply chain readiness level. It's not an academic thing, but something that we saw that would fit as teaching workshop. So, researching the market requires more than a mature technology. As we saw before, the world around the technology also has to be ready. The suppliers, the logistics, processing, and partners who are willing to commit. Academia and public research funding tend to focus on the first TRL, that is 1 to 4, and industry and commercial investment typically engage from 7 to 9. So there's the gap between where the many new technologies stall. They are too applied to have scientific funding, too risky for industrial investments. And this is sometimes called the valley of death. When you add in the factor of circular supply chain, this makes this even harder. The startups that deal with circular ventures often lack the capital, and economies of scale are needed to enter markets. Most investors are not structured to wait that long because as this usually is an innovation, and innovations take longer time to earn back the money. To make the supply chain dimension visible, we used the aforementioned SCRL. So, and it's important to note here, the goal is when you are searching for which number you are at, is not to get an accurate number in this meaning. The goal is to force the conversation, what the scale forces you to have. What have you tested? What are you assuming? And the number is kind of secondary. So, when founders are starting to deal with the supply chain gap, there is always something that forces this conversation. Something fails, some launch delays, or somebody even walks away from the venture. The technology itself can be at the highest level, fully deployed, it's proven, and still be years away from commercial scale if the supply chain barriers remain unaddressed. TRL is measured, but the supply chain readiness rarely is. So the gap grows invisibly while the technology advances. The hardest jump is from second to third. At the second stage, conversations have happened, but nothing has been delivered. But the third stage forces three things the founders tend to avoid. It means that they have to commit to something, they have to ask the supplier to do real work, and they have to find the input if it's actually usable. And in some cases, if you use circular materials, you have to see if the material is seasonal. So you cannot test something that is available in spring, autumn, in the winter. So why are circular supply chains structurally harder than linear ones? The input is variable and outside your control. That is not only a logistics problem, it's a product specification problem. You may think that waste is free, but it rarely is. Circular raw materials carry real costs. Somebody has to collect it, sort it, pre-process it, and transport it to somewhere it needs to be. The entity controlling the material may charge for it. They may require some kind of service in return, or they may give your materials to the higher bidder. So it seems that the power sits with whoever controls the waste stream. In a circular supply chain, the municipality, retailer, or waste collector often sets the terms. So now we'll talk to somebody who is first-hand in this. So Elvia, you can join me.
Yeah, hello, and my name is Elvia, and I'm from startup Fat Cat Leaves, and together with Riga Technical University, Riga Smeži, and Cleantech for Baltics, we are realizing the project called Leaf Cycle, recycling the leaves into biodegradable cat litter, and we are working together to pilot not only the supply chain but also to develop the product to the next TRL level and validate the market need and also make life cycle assessments.
Okay, so the first question, where did the idea come from and why leaves?
Well, the idea came when I studied in the master's. I had one of the study courses, which was called Investment Projects in Bioeconomy. And at that time, each student needed to find their project, how they can recycle or reuse or use one of our strategies, the product or the raw materials. So at that time it was the autumn, and I thought, okay, what we could do with the leaves, because I see it's not only how we mostly using it for compost. So it stuck with me, and I wrote one study course, another one, and it ended up with my master thesis, how recycling fallen leaves into new innovation project or product. And after the master's, I continued working. I participated in some programs to accelerators as well to find the product, the way how we could produce. At that time, it was the thought, maybe we can produce it like the paper or paper bags, packages, boxes, even the plain dishes. But then we realized how we could compete with the industry that has developed and optimized more than 100 years. So it was not only that, but also the costs, the hygiene, and other aspects. So we moved forward to looking for new ideas, and it was more than, I think, 100 ideas. And we were having like from simple and maybe some crazy ideas as well, starting from wallpapers and ending with the coffins even. And but that we realized, okay, it's something that we are looking for, and we ended up with pellets. And it was the question if we are making like the heating pellets or for pet care. And talking with some experts, making even some small tests, we realized, okay, the heating is not the option. And so we stuck with the pet care, the pet litter. And at that time, we made some market research and realized, okay, mostly in the market, mostly are dominated non-biodegradable clamping litter. And we saw this like an opportunity. What if we are changing this mindset that we are making biodegradable material and adding some organic additives and making it like a clumping cat litter, which is biodegradable. And that's where it got stuck, and we are still working and developing.
So when you started, who did you talk to first? Did you start with the city or lab or someone entirely else?
Yeah, firstly we talk with universities. We talk with some institutions as well. How we could make this product how we have imagined, and different techniques, different partners as well. We changed and we understood what is the way how we can move forward, how we can make R&D. And closely working with them, we are moving to next TRL as well. But at that time, we also thought, okay, This is like the TRL, how we will collect the leaves and how we proceed them. So it was another case.
So far, what do you think was the hardest part, or what you thought it would be?
At first, we thought that the hardest part would be like how we collect leaves, how we understand what is the quality, the moisture, the storaging, everything else that was part of it. But realizing some of these questions solved in the process, but most of them still left unanswered. So that one of the things was how we can make this supply chain, because as we know, the leaves are in autumn mostly. It's seasonal thing. It's mostly in some specific places, mostly in the urban areas that we are facing and targeting. So how we can collect all these leaves from different places and how to make like this manufacturing. So these are the things that we are still figuring out. But luckily, we were able to meet partners from Rigas Meži or Rigas Forests, who are managing the main Rigas green areas, parks, cultural places as well. So they were looking for the solution, how to process or recycle the fallen leaves, where they could put it, and we were looking the sourcer. So it was the great match.
What was the moment you realized that maybe the supply chain may be trickier than you expected?
Yeah, that was one of the things that we realized, okay, the fallen leaves are, even if they are 60 kilometers or 100 kilometers from us, you are thinking, okay, we can collect maybe and send it over, but realizing it's not efficient, it's not cost efficient. So we need to think this decentralized way, and understanding that each municipality or even different countries, there are different ways how they are collecting leaves, what are the regulations, how they are seeing. Also, the leaves, they are different ways, they are different types in different areas as well. So there are so many challenges that we are facing, but we are not afraid. So we are working to find the best ways how we can make it work not only in one place, but also in other places as well.
But what got you interested in leaves specifically? Why leaves and not something else?
Yeah, that was the first thought that it started in my master thesis. I saw the potential. I continued to work with that, and seeing that people also are interested and seeing it like a new way how to process the leaves, but we are not stopping only at leaves. This is like the first step. We are seeing it as much bigger goal to process not only the leaves as the organic waste, but also maybe grass, cutted grass, hay, pea pods as well. So we are looking not only for the leaves, but the different organic waste that we are currently see as a waste, which is mostly we are using for composting thing. And but yeah, we are seeing it as a raw material we can use to pursue, process and produce the cat litter.
Is there any part in the system that still keeps you up at night?
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of them, but mostly it's like how to scale the business model. It works not only in one place, but it works 50, 100, or even 1,000 kilometers away from us.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So from there we go to another insight that we had that you have to map the power, not just the chain. So every supply chain has a power map underneath it. There is almost always one or two who set the terms, and rarely it is the startup. There might be the municipality that collects the collection routes and contracts. There might be some kind of certification body that controls market access and approvals. Some retailer who controls the spaces and volumes, or even a waste owner that controls the input stream itself. So you can name the actor who controls your input. This is where the strategy for your supply chain begins. But now we will do a small workshop. It won't take a lot of time. It would be good if you would be in small groups. This way it makes you talk, makes you share the experience. So we have a few sheets that my colleague will give out, where you can map your supply chain. It can be a made-up startup, and it also can be the thing. It can be something that is made up, or can be about the leaves that we just heard about. So you don't need to fill it out. They're just to have some talking points in the group that you are in. Just go through the things that are on the page and discuss with your group if you want to take your own startup as a base, or the one that Elvia talked about. Just think through what are the resource streams, how the processing might be, and so on. Just what you do know, what you don't know. So I think we can move forward with the next idea, which is to kill the startup that you wrote down. I once had a colleague who was the opposite kind of a yes person. When I was already going with the idea, she stopped and asked me questions that were kind of annoying, but were the ones that kind of forced me to think a bit more through, not during already going someplace, but before, what could fail. So I understood that she was scanning for failure before we got to some failing point. So this is kind of the idea that we are training. It's not pessimism, it's kind of more like a pattern recognition. So, but there are two distinctions to that. One is a bottleneck, where the system slows down. And the other one is some specific point where the whole system collapses. So what I want for you to do is to see what is the point in what you wrote down earlier. So these are the circular specific vulnerabilities to look for. They might have to do with supplier lock-in. They may be seasonal. They might have something to do with input or waste stream competition. So the thing you thought through now, please look at that through this lens and see what might be the thing that will kill the idea that you have. now the final question. If your product suddenly becomes 100 times more popular, what does it mean if you have a scale shock? About the raw material, and what would you do the rest of the year if it's seasonal? What risks can you live with, and what can you do about them? So, and there's underneath a few ideas to consider. A couple of minutes for that as well. And I think our time is getting up. So in addition to the scale shock, there might be other kinds of factors in play as well. You might get a regulation shock. For example, some EU regulation bans something that you use in your product. You might have a supply shock, where competing buyer buys everything everywhere that you need. You might have a cost shock, where, as we can see, energy prices may go even higher, so your processing may become unprofitable. There might be a demand shock, as we saw with scaling, seasonality or quality. So the transition to a circular economy is constrained by the complexity of supply chains and fragmented markets. So what we can see at the moment is that the challenge that the chains have is that there needs to be industrial orchestration. So if there's one question to think about, maybe it could be where is the supply chain that you're using, and what would be something to do to step forward. So thank you.